Hey, this is Mike Peacock from Misery Point Radio, and you're listening to Spoiler Country. What's up, minions? Mike here from Misery Point Radio. You want to hear some epic interviews with epic musicians, artists, and entertainers? Then do yourself a favor, pull up your pants, and head over to iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio and check out Misery Point Radio for piles of awesomeness. It's okay. Your mom told me you could. And next time, use a sock or something, you perv.
Live from a fallout shelter somewhere under Seattle, Washington, it's the show you've been waiting for. Get ready to join your hosts, John and Kenric, as they talk comics, movies, and more. Now here's Spoiler Country!
Alright, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kenric, and that is Mr. Horsley. And today on the show, it's a man on the street, Casey Allen, doing an interview with Rich Douek of Gutter Magic.
Yeah, and this book just came out too.
Yeah, and it's a brand new indie book out there. You guys should really go and check out. And Casey and Rich are going to give us the 401 on this thing.
Yeah, they are. It's funny because, not to toot our own horn, but this is one of the ones where someone reached out to us to review a book and talk to them. Yeah. And I just want to say how much I love and appreciate people who message us to come on the show. It's keep doing it. Keep it up.
Oh man, I gotta look at the PDF that he sent over. The art is fantastic.
Yeah, have you read it yet?
I haven't read it all the way through because
I did. You should.
Yeah, I know. I started reading it and I loved it. I just work gets in the way and you just have to do what you gotta do. But the first thing that struck me was the art. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. No,
this is amazing.
It's a pretty fantastic book. I read the whole thing today at work. It's pretty fantastic.
Well, we can see where your priorities are.
Just take a long bathroom break, man. It's fine.
Oh my god! I got stories of people with the bathroom at work, and it was just it drives me nuts.
That'll be for another episode.
That would be for another episode. But let's check out Casey and Rich talking about Gutter Magic.
All right, welcome again to another episode of Spoiler Country. My name is Casey Allen, and today I have Rich Douek, and he has a comic coming out on Wednesday called Gutter Magic. It's coming out via SourcePoint Press, and we're really excited to have him on. Rich, how are you today?
I'm good, Casey. How you doing?
I'm well. So this is kind of a cool thing. I read issue 1, and man, the art and the story are just really pull you in, and you have a really fantastic team on this book with you. What was the inspiration behind this? Because I see a lot of history, a lot of alt history stuff, and obviously some very fantastical elements thrown in there.
Yeah, well, so I think kind of like how it started was I was writing kind of like, I've been like, I've loved like fantasy my whole life, like that whole genre, and I'm writing it and I'm kind of thinking, you always see these kind of like fantasy worlds people create, and at the time I was doing it, I was like, it was all kind of feeling the same to me, and so I was like, well, what if we set it in the real world? And then I got to thinking, I was like, every time I see something magical set in the real world, it's always this kind of like Harry Potter thing where like the wizards are hidden and it's like secret orders and stuff. And not that I have anything against Harry Potter, I actually really like Harry Potter. But again, I was like, well, what if it was just all kind of like out in the open, And then I just started thinking about like how a world like that could kind of come about, and I was reading a bunch of comics. One of my favorite ones is Hellboy, and Hellboy deals a lot with sort of bringing the occult into to World War II, and that's sort of, I guess, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that could be really, really cool. So I started thinking, like, what if, kind of like the race for like the ultimate weapons in World War II is less about developing a nuclear bomb and more about kind of controlling magic. And that was like how I started thinking of the setting. And then after that, when I was thinking about the characters and the actual story itself, I was thinking, well, what if you do have this world where wizards are really powerful? Like, what if you had a guy, our main character Cinder, who's his family is all famous wizards, and he's basically like the one guy in his family that can't do magic at all, doesn't know why, just knows that his life is like kind of crap because of it. So he's just kind of going through the world, like looking for any way to gain these magic powers that he kind of feels he's owed almost. It's like his birthright that he was denied. So yeah, that's basically that kind of where it all came from. It was just originally just trying to do fantasy in a way that would set it apart a little bit from other fantasy stories and other urban fantasy stories, and yeah.
That's such a fun concept, and it really draws you in. I like how you don't really baby the reader and try to over-explain things. You just kind of give the information as it comes, and it's left for the reader to kind of piece it together, and it makes you want to keep going down that little path. It's so well done, and
thank you.
There's seriously a double-page spread in here. The art in here is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
and he does a double-page spread in here that goes kind of MC Escher.
Yeah,
and
I mean
that alone is worth the price of admission for this. It is fantastic.
It's a funny story. That's the only double-page. That's the only panel description I ever wrote that had an apology in it, because I was like, Brett, I'm sorry. I was like, this is what I'm picturing in my head. I don't know how you want to do it. And it's like, so if this is what we're going for, so like let's work it out. And to Brett's credit, he did an amazing job, and he did kind of like start and stop a couple of different times, because like he was doing it one way, and then he was like, nah, I was thinking about it. I think I want to do this instead. And just what he landed on was like amazing. But that was one of those things where I really kind of had to put my trust in him. And I feel really grateful that I was working with somebody who I could trust to that extent, where like I didn't really have to spell out, it wasn't like, all right, well, you need to put, this character in this corner, and you need to draw this, store over here, or like anything like that. It was just more like, Brett, here's what we're going for, here's what I want to convey with the panel, and I want you to kind of show me how you would do that. And we just went from there. And I think he did an amazing job.
I've never met the man in my life. I can tell you right now, that man is a badass. Brett Barkley killed. Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love the character design in this. And just the world looks so inhabited. It doesn't look like something that's just
another thing. Yeah, another thing we talked a lot about was kind of making like the world and the city itself kind of like its own like character. Like one of the things I was talking to Brett about, I was like, I would like, I wanted it to sort of feel like, okay, so we're following this story, right? But I want it to seem like there's a whole bunch of other stories going on in this crazy city, kind of in the background. And like, if for some reason we decide to stop following these guys, and start following, like, you know, two other guys talking in the background, that would be interesting too. So, you know, so he did like a really, really good job, I think, of just sort of bringing everything to life, you know, you know, whether it's on the street or like in the, you know, we do our kind of classical tavern scene, you know, like where they're sitting around tavern talking, and I think, you know, there's just like kind of so much going on, and I think it was great for him because he got to like play around too, you know, and like, let his imagination run loose, because like I said, there's like some stuff. There's some stuff in the background that I asked for, and then there's other stuff where I was just like, you know, here's kind of like, you know, the parameters, but other than that, go crazy. Like,
yeah, and you have some really well thought out, like, side cast characters that, like the rat catcher. There's going to be something about that guy later on, and I can't wait to figure out what it is. So this book is being put out through SourcePoint. It came out through IDW at first, and you guys are getting a new opportunity to take it further than the original release. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Basically, came out, I think it was like 2016 with IDW. That was like, you know, great experience. And you know, they're great. I've put out other books with them since. But like, as far as Gutter Magic goes, I think, you know, we were both kind of like done with it for a little bit, but my plan was always kind of like to come back to it when I had the chance. And I just happened to meet the guys from SourcePoint at New York Comic Con. I met them through there's this online program called Comics Experience. So Comics Experience is all about, you know, people who want to create comics, place to take some online classes and learn kind of the ins and outs of how to do it. So they have like a publishing partnership with SourcePoint, where SourcePoint is going to be putting out books that have been developed through Comics Experience. And, you know, Gutter Magic, like the original scripts, I actually wrote when I was taking classes there. So, not, I mean, for the first issue, there was a couple of issues, and then there was also like a few short stories that I wrote, things like that. So anyway, so I was talking to Andy, who runs Comics Experience, then started talking to Travis, who is the editor-in-chief of SourcePoint, and he's just like really, really liked Magic, and like, you know, when are you going to do more? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you want to do more with us? So I was like, let's talk about it. And, you know, talked about it, and it just I think worked out for everybody, because I get to do more of the book I love, and they get to put out a book they really dig too.
Yeah.
But, you know, but one thing that we had is that, you know, it's like a couple of years old, so the issues, like for the first story, are getting a little bit hard to find. You know, like you can get them on eBay and stuff, but there's not a ton in the stores. There's not a ton of trade still in circulation. So that was kind of like a challenge for us. It was like, you know, we don't want to kind of leave people. We don't want to kind of leave people without knowing like the first part of the story. So we talked about it, and we were like, you know, let's re-release the first 4 issues. We got brand new covers. We got an amazing new artist. Her name's Faye Chen, super talented. She's doing covers for all 4 issues. Then we're gonna put those out. Then we're putting out a trade that has some additional material, like short stories I've done and pinups that I've had artists do that I've never seen print before. So that'll be coming. And then once the first 4 are out, we're going to roll right into issue 5 and just keep going from there.
Oh, that's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really exciting, because it's like, for me, I'm getting to like revisit these characters that I haven't touched in like, kind of even more than 2 years, because that's when it came out. But I had done like a lot of the writing kind of beforehand. So it's like kind of coming back to these characters that like I loved and almost, didn't forget, but I was kind of like, wow, kind of forgot how fun it was to write these guys. So, it's really cool. It's like kind of being able to expand the adventures and just kind of like reintroduce the world to people who might not have caught it the first time around.
That's awesome. So, what is your background? Like, what all have you done prior to Gutter Magic?
Well, it's funny because Gutter Magic is the first comic I put out in terms of like just chronologically with IDW. I had done a few short stories before then and a few things in like anthologies. But Gutter Magic was like my first full-length miniseries. So that got finished, and then this year I started putting out 2 new series. One's called Wailing Blade. That's with another small publisher called Comics Tribe. They put out Sync, a couple of other really cool indie books. Wailing Blade's kind of like this sci-fi fantasy, almost like I'd say like kind of like Thunder the Barbarian, Masters of the Universe kind of vibe. Just like huge swords and ripped people just attacking each other. It's a lot of fun. And then another series that I just put out is that just wrapped up last month. It's called Road of Bones, and that's kind of this. It's a historical themed horror story. It takes place during the like Russian Gulag. So it's about 3 guys that escape the Gulag into Siberia, and they have 2 big problems. Number one is they don't really have enough food to get across the tundra, and the other one is that they're being stalked by this creature who, maybe is one of the guys think he's trying to help them, but
have you ever heard of the concept of a man cow?
A man cow?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Actually, I know
it's dark. It's real fucking dark, dude.
I know it as the walking lunch. That was what my research turned up. But yes, I do know, and that's spot on what the story is about.
Oh wow! Okay.
With a little bit of supernatural twist to it, but basically, yeah.
Can you now that we've opened up that bottle, can you tell our listeners what a man cow is?
Okay, sure. So basically, we got a little static there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what would happen is these guys are trying to escape into Siberia, where food is like very scarce and very hard to forage. So what they would do is 2 guys would escape, and they would invite the 3rd prisoner along, kind of the fattest one they could find. And
sometimes they would surreptitiously fatten him up with extra rations.
Yep. Because little did the guy know that once they get out there, once they run out of food, he's lunch. So so basically, an economical way to carry a bunch of food into the tundra. It's really, really dark.
I learned about that the other day.
Yeah, but again, it's something that I was kind of reading about and just fascinated. This is like something that actually happened, and I thought it was really a great thing to base a horror story on. So, and then IDW agreed, so we just put that out.
Nice.
Yeah. So then, what else have I done? I've done a little bit of TMNT work for them. I wrote an issue of came into Universe. I think it was issue 11, and then a couple of backup stories for the later issues.
How was that experience? Like having to do like a pre-existing character that people already love.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, there was, like kind of like a little bit of pressure. You kind of want to make sure that you live up to what the fans want, and you also have to take a lot more into consideration when you're writing, because everything that I was writing for that story had to make sense within the context of that story, but then also make sense in the context of kind of the greater TMNT universe. Like I couldn't contradict anything. I had to really pay attention to the continuity and things like that. So it was really cool. It was a lot of fun to kind of figure those problems out, and it was also a really great kind of like learning experience, because I never really had to do that before.
And I'm sure editorial was a little different working with editorial in that instance.
Yeah. Like on my creator-owned stuff, like my editors are great. They're really kind of there to help me tell kind of like my story. So there'll be a lot of like they'll be checking it for clarity and things like that, and making sure stuff comes across. But like when you're talking about like a property, they're focused on a lot of other stuff, like how it's going to work with like the other books and the licensing and things like that. So yeah, definitely more like a hands-on thing. But again, it was like really, really cool. My editor on those is Bobby Curnow. He's just a great guy to work with.
That's awesome. So, do you, after Gutter Magic, do you have anything that you can tell us about that's kind of cooking in the background?
Nothing. I have things, but nothing I could tell you about, unfortunately.
So when that happens, you just got to message me back on Twitter and go, hey, man.
Definitely. I'll hit you back up and be like, time for interview part 2. But there's a lot of exciting stuff, like, Rotobones did really well, just in terms of, like, sales, and people have been, like, talking about it a lot, so that's kind of kicked open a few doors for me, and, doing the best I can, but cool things are happening.
And
so.
You just had a second print of Rotobones number 3.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Our first issue went to 3 printings, and the second and third both have gone to second printings. The second printing's out this week, so it's like an insane week for me, because I've never had 3 books come out this week. I have that, Gutter Magic number 1, and then the final issue of Wailing Blade is also out.
Holy smokes, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a big week for Rich Douek, that kind of stuff.
So you guys call your LCS and pick up these books. Rotobones obviously is selling like hotcakes, and from what I've seen of Gutter Magic, you would be dumb not to get it, because it is fantastic.
Oh, man. I really appreciate that.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out?
No, I guess just if anybody wants to kind of keep up to date with what I got going on, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to @rdouek, RDOUEK on both of them. I post there a lot about my projects and things like that. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/guttermagic, and that's my page. I talk about more than just Gutter Magic there. Again, it's like pretty much everything I'm doing, but that's where to find me online if you want to check me out. If you want to talk to me, I love talking to people who read my books, so feel free to reach out. And that's about it.
Awesome. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. Go and get Gutter Magic. This book will change your life. In that you will have a few dollars less, but it will be worth it. And I'm serious. That one double page spread alone it was such a, it was so well done. I was I was reading it at my lunch break, and people kept seeing me twisting my phone around trying to follow it, and it was. I haven't had fun reading a comic like that in a long time. So, Rich, you did something awesome, man. So, thank you for that, and I can't wait to read more.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so they're coming out every month from now on, so check it out.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but you stay on the line.
You got it.
And we're back. Well, we really hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. What'd you think?
I mean, as always, I say it 1,000 times. Casey interviews different than how I would because, one, I talk really fucking fast, and Casey does not.
You know, I used to talk really fast, and I got
Yeah.
so sick of people saying, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, literally, I got sick of people saying that, and I just constantly slowed down. I remember, not to pick on you, because it's kind of funny because you brought it up, but the other day, I don't know if people realize, there's and you could tell them because I honestly can't remember the name of the thing, which is terrible. But
the Podchaser ad.
The Podchaser, yeah. You did a pre-roll with this Podchaser. I could not understand anything you were saying.
Talking super fast, baby.
Yeah.
Trying to get in there real quick.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. But anyways.
Yeah, but it's Podchaser, you can still do it. If you go to the Podchaser and sign up with the promo code of Spoiler Country, you get full access to all their feeds. There's still a couple left on the code for that. There's a total of 50, and there's a few left.
Perfect. You guys go check that out. Well,
Definitely.
We hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed learning about Rich Douek with Casey Allen there, and all about his new comic book, Gutter Magic, which really, it's fantastic. The art
It's out now. Go pick it up. It's out now.
The art is amazing. The storyline is great. I think this is going to be a sleeper hit.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm a backer of this one. So go out and check it out. It just came out like last day or two, so you definitely don't miss this one.
Yeah, probably just came out last Wednesday.
Yeah, well, it came out whatever Wednesdays directly before this episode.
There you go. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. We're Spoiler Country. We're heard everywhere podcasts are heard, and of course, we're on all the major social medias.
We are. And for October, which is coming up, which is, this month after this episode airs, we're doing a special thing on our show where we are telling your favorite stories, talking about your favorite books, your favorite movies, and your favorite comics, and your personal or non-personal or made-up horror stories or Halloween stories or scary stories. So we want to hear from you. So give us a call at 707-656-2080. Leave a voicemail. Tell us about any of the things I just mentioned. If you want to record something on your own and then send it to us, you can do so. Just send it to spoilercountry@gmail.com. You can write us up an email about what you want to say if you don't want to say it out loud. You can shoot a video and send it to us. You can write a story, whatever. You can email it to spoilercountry@gmail.com. If whatever you're trying to send us is too big, let us know, and I can send you a link to upload it to our Dropbox account so we can get it and we can use it for our end of the month super special, awesome Halloween October edition episode.
There you guys go. Hope you guys really enjoyed that. Don't forget, open the mind.
Read more. See ya.
You'll read more.
Well, I did all that without taking a breath.
like, dude, there's this guy goes into he goes to the bathroom, and I swear to God, he's in there for like 40 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's just sitting there on his phone.
Yeah, totally. Just watching porn.
Yeah, doing whatever. It's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. To me, it's like, why don't you just go to your car or something?
Right?
Why sit on the toilet for that long? You're just giving yourself a hemorrhoid.
No, I know. It's ridiculous. There used to be times when I used to be in the bathroom for a long time because I had stomach issues, but anymore,
Right.
I
that's
get
legit.
in, get out.
That's legit. If you're sick or you got something going on, totally get it. But this guy has
Yeah.
nothing going on.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I will say sometimes I'll go to the bathroom at work and I'll be reading an article or something,
And you'll lose track of time.
I'm like, shit, my legs are numb. They have to walk back to our house. Nope, I wasn't on the bathroom for an hour.
Oh, that's
not,
funny.
Not that long, but
Dude, I got up one time. I woke up like at 3 o'clock in the morning. And my stomach was just hurting. Right? I was like, because like if I eat like a bunch of cheese, like I was just all bound up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I went into the bathroom and I just like let loose a torrent, and I was just like, oh my God, I felt so much better.
You were literally shitting cheese bricks.
Yeah, and then I did like this jerking motion, like when you're falling,
Yeah.
And I totally fell asleep on the toilet for like an hour. Because I remember looking at the clock, I'm like, it's 3 a.m. And then when I got back, it was like 4:10.
I'm pretty sure most people our age have done that at least once.
I was like, I thought it was like 5. I thought I was in there for 5 minutes.
Nope. No. At least you didn't fall off the toilet, okay?
Right. And we're back.
Involved with like threads to continue, and it's always something that I really wanted to get back to. I wasn't 100% sure when. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But Source Point coming along was like just great because they're big fans of the book, so they were kind of like wondering what was going on with it, and we just got to talking, and they were like down to do more. So
That's rad.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, I'll go over that, and if there's anything you don't want me to talk about, just let me know, and I'll cut whatever. I'm not a journalist or anything. I'm a guy that likes to talk to people about comics. So I'm not going to give you any hard hitting questions or anything.
It's all good. I can take it.
Also, when we get done, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, do you mind taking a few minutes to talk about like one of your favorite horror, anything, horror movies, horror books?
Sure.
We're doing a special episode during October for just based on like people that we know and in comics and entertainment that talking about their favorite horror things. So
of course.
If you have any like one thing you'd like to talk about and tell us why you think that's like something to look into, I'll do that. I'll say cut, stop recording, and start. Just for that. So
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you, and we'll get this ball rolling.
Sounds good.